That's right, back from Australia and now coaching the Romanian team and this very promising young Romanian. So a good second lift there of 167.5, and he of course has one attempt remaining to increase his snatch lift.
But this is a very tight category, just 10 kilos between the lifters, their entered weights, 7 from Europe, 2 from Asia, 1 from Australia, and in fact one defector, Markoulas of Greece, who was due to take part. As we've seen with most of the Greek athletes, the one thing we can say about them is that we haven't really seen them. Pre-qualified for the Olympic Games, and in a way disappointing that they have chosen en masse virtually to not take part in the championships. 1 or 2 last-minute injuries to the likes of Selidis and Sabonis really have made the situation that much more disappointing. So this is a 21-year-old Turk. This is Suna Ural, and that's a first snatch of 170, David, so that's a pretty good effort. And 184 kilos 40 for his body weight, and that's likely to be a factor here. Calancia, who you saw in that first snatch just a moment ago, or his second snatch I should say, 84 kilos 45.
Yes, and that was a very impressive start for the man who was just out of the junior ranks.
Now Huan Ayun for China, 7th a year ago in the Worlds, comes to these World Championships as the Asian champion. Has snatched 170 kilos, did so this year on his way to a total of 377.5.
Yes, Chinese not known for their strength in the heavier men's classes, but has to be said that this man is dangerous.
Yeah, he's 26. He's one of the more mature members of the squad, and he's got actually a PB of 175. So lifting well, and with another 5 kilos will actually get up to that PB mark. Looking for a total of 390 for the championship this year in the world's what I was going to say, in the 380 actually he's looking for this year, and actually has achieved 377 in the Asian Championships.
But this man, of course, the world record holder with 182.5 kilos in the snatch, weighed in very light, just a fraction over 82
actually,
kilos.
Sorry to correct you, David, but former world record holder, because Andrei Rybaku holds the snatch record at 182.5 kilos now. So Chakoyan, formerly from Armenia, these days from Australia, gets his challenge underway with 172.5 kilos. And body weight really on his side, David. Look at that, 82 kilos 70, and he very much is the light man amongst the main contenders.
So he must have equalled the world record then, or somebody else must have. He did break the world record earlier in here. Someone else must have sneaked that other.
Well, Rybaku
sneaked that one in then.
No, the credit. I think what actual Chakoyan has done is he's equalled it, but because he did it second, it's not awarded to him. Rybaku got there first. But nonetheless, a good lift for this man who was, well, 6th for the Olympic Games for Armenia back in Atlanta, and 6th for Australia last time out in Sydney. So now Anishanka for Belarus. This is his opening effort here. And Anishanka, 84 kilos 44, so lighter than Calancia, lighter than Juan. Good explosion.
Yes, solid start. So he, of course, has a snatch on the board and has 2 attempts to move it forward.
Yeah, it went badly wrong for him in the Europeans this year, when he actually failed in the clean and jerk phase to get any of his 3 attempts, and therefore didn't end up with a total. But of course, one significant name that is not in the lineup today, Zlatan Vanev of Bulgaria, the defending world and European champion, one of 3 Bulgarians. Vanev, together with Boevsky and also Georgi Markov, suspended just prior to the championships for irregularities in the out-of-competition doping tests that were done mid-October, and of course the outcome of that will be forthcoming in the next month or two. Probably it'll be January before we get any clarity on the situation, but obviously the Bulgarians disappointed not to have their man here. The other, of course, big absentee is Georgi Azanidze, David, who, if you remember, that was the world champion 2 seasons ago. As you see, Sunar of Turkey, successful for a second time. I was going to say, Azanidze, if you remember, we were looking forward to seeing him in Warsaw, and he had shoulder problems, a couple of operations which had gone badly wrong, and it seems now that the best days of that Georgian lifter, who was really effective in the snatch phase as well as, you know, the overall competition, are past. So 2 major names not here.
Yes, so really, and with Mark Huster retiring and Dimas possibly or almost certainly moving up into the 94 kilo class, I would have said that this class for the Olympic Games is certainly wide open, and with men like this man, Sunar, very young and improving, that 7 months could between now and the Olympic Games could make a significant difference.
So going to 175, which will put him into first place in the snatch, is Huan of China. As I said earlier on, when you saw him on his previous lift, this will be right on his PB mark. There's another star of the championships, the very animated Chinese coach. He's going to be animated for the wrong reasons now.
Well, I heard him laughing. I think he knew the ability of his lifter. He knew that perhaps 170 was his limit, and 175 was maybe being a bit ambitious. So he's not disappointed.
Yeah, and these men all now well past the efforts posted in the B ranking division, which preceded this competition. And Chakoyan, interesting, 172.5. Anishanka, 172.5. And that's failure for Juan's really important, but the bar has gone up to 177.5. So second attempt here for Sergo Chakoyan, 34 years of age. He's the senior member amongst the finalists today. One more go.
So 5 kilos down on his personal best, and not really close with that.
The 182.5, just to demystify what you were saying earlier on, David, the 182.5 that he lifted was this season in the Grand Prix in Moscow, but of course that wouldn't count for world record rankings. It's got to be the major championships where those efforts are given world record status. So same path here for Anishanka of Belarus. Now, Anishanka is 84 kilos 44, so he's heavier than Chakoyan. Yeah. But nonetheless, this is only his second attempt, so this would be the moment to do this. It would give him the lead.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, that was much closer than Chakoyan. Also to remember, David, that Sunar has got his third attempt to come, and Sunar on 84 kilos 40 is slightly lighter than Anishanka, but of course both of them much heavier than Chakoyan on 82 kilos. So it's one good lift here, David, from any of those three could secure the snatch title, and maybe a bit of an advantage going into the second half. So, third and final attempt.
Yes, this is the leader at the moment, of course, by virtue of that very light body weight, 82.7. Now trying to increase his lead further and put more pressure on his opponents.
Home for him in his newly adopted country is Melbourne.
Just not there today for him, David.
Well, you know, that's, I was just going to say, David, 177.5, well within his compass, but the way things have played out, I just wonder whether it would have been sensible if either he or Anishanka had gone for a 175, because at the moment, 175 would have been good enough. You know, they're stuck on 172.5. Juan didn't make the 175.
Yeah, but
so
it's the judgment, of course, of the coaches. I mean, they're in the warm-up, they're seeing what's happening, and at the moment, it's looking as if they've overestimated the other competitors. They've obviously taken these heavier weights because they think that other lifters are going to be able to achieve them, but so far, that's not the way it's been played.
So, the world silver medalist of 2001, Alexander Anishanka, who actually, on his way to that overall silver medal, did pick up this amount, 177.5.
So this for the lead, it's better, and out the back door. Well, he's annoyed, and you can understand why. Not strength, purely a technical error, and that technical error has cost him the gold medal.
Yeah, it'd be good, David, if you take us through that error when we actually see the replay, because he, you know, on both attempts he wasn't that far away from actually being able to achieve this weight.
Well, that's right. On the first attempt, he just didn't quite manage to pull the weight high enough, and of course the tendency then is to lean back about now at the top of the pull, which of course creates that backward momentum on the bar. So instead of just pulling it straight up and then sitting straight down, he's leaned on it, and when you've got nearly 400 pounds going backwards, it's very, very difficult to hang on to it.
So here we go, David. This is the last lift of the snatch phase of the championship, and it's Erdal Sunar for Turkey, 21 years of age, with a major opportunity of taking the gold medal. And if he lifts this, of course, David, he's going to have a 5-kilo advantage over... Not to be.
Well, 175 would have been the weight. I mean, that was so close. He looked fantastic on his opener of 170. He looked just as good on 172.5, and it's just a shame that none of the coaches actually opted for that 175 weight.
Yeah, very interesting when you consider that he came into these championships with a personal best of 155, and he's actually, you know, improved that to 172.5 kilos. I mean, Sunar
only just missed 177.5, so this is why athletes like him are very worrying for the other lifters, especially with there still being 7 months to go to the Olympics.
Well, it's Sergo Chakayan who gets it by virtue of that lighter body weight. Just one correction, I said 155. Actually, he lifted 165 in Pavia in the World Student Games, but nonetheless, that's still 7.5 kilos up. The clean and jerk coming right up.
There's nothing quite like the Champions League to stir the emotions. And to get you right in the mood, welcome to Champions League Happy Hour. Monday and Tuesday evenings, a comprehensive preview of what's to come, with a summary of the previous matches, analysis of each group, news and views from players and coaches. Everything you need to put you in the mood. Champions League Happy Hour, Monday at 22:15 and Tuesday at 1900 on Eurosport. This program is brought to you by Amstel. And PlayStation 2.
So in Vancouver, the clean and jerk competition for the men's 85-kilo championship underway inside the Exhibition and Convention Centre, and you can see it's early days. Miszkiewicz and Rytkowski of Poland on 200. Just to put this in context, the clean and jerk world record, 218 kilos, held and set by Zhang Yong of China, but an awful long time ago, back in 1998, when the records were, or I should say the weight categories building up to the Sydney Olympics were established. So it's been around for a long time. Junior world record, 205 kilos, set by Calancia of Romania in 2000, and the total standard of 395 yet to be achieved. So here's Juan, first clean and jerk, 200 kilos. And Juan, as a result of the failures of the likes of Chakayan and Anishanka and Sunar, in 4th place at the interval and pretty close to the action, and that's a good starter.
Yes, very, very comfortable there with 200, so it puts him on 370 and puts him into first place at the moment, but of course still many athletes still to come into this competition. Cleans the bar with a close grip, stands and then takes the hands wider. A lot of athletes do this, especially the Bulgarians, because obviously you don't have to drive the bar quite so far overhead to reach the locked arms. And very effective he is too.
Yeah, he's going to have to find quite a few more kilos to be competitive. This is a very, very open class, though, at the moment. So here's the man who had the chance to be world champion at the halfway stage with a winning lift in the snatch, but it wasn't to be. So he's got 172.5 kilos at the moment to carry forward to try and get his total here. 200 on the bar. No. Oh, well. Yes or no?
Well, he deserves that. Really having problems holding that weight overhead, and not as good on this lift as he was on the snatch.
Well, I don't think he's going to get it. Well, he has by 2 to 1. 2 to 1.
Well, I think he's pretty relieved about that, because if I was him, having just completed that 200 and having to put the effort that he had to put in, really having to work out of that low squat position, drives the bar overhead, but has it, almost loses it, saves it again, really having to work hard, nearly loses it there. I'll be pretty relieved that that was a 2 to 1 decision.
Yeah, really gutsy performance there, right on the edge of the platform, particularly when he actually failed his first attempt at the same weight. So he's got his total and can now try to move forward. 372.5 for Sunar of Turkey. Now Chakoyan, again, like Sunar, had every chance to have taken the snatch gold medal, but failed twice at 177.5. So he's also got 172.5 kilos.
Yeah, but because of all the failures, he actually did win the snatch gold medal on 172.5.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well,
Yes,
by virtue of his lighter body weight. But he's also failed with 202.5. So this is his second attempt to try and make a total, which he does this time. So that puts him on 375, and it gives him the lead. But as I said, still many more lifts to come in this clean and jerk section.
Yeah, Chakoyan.
Yes, I mean, he was kind of handed that snatch gold medal on a plate, really, because there were so many failures and so many people taking weights that they didn't really need. I mean, several athletes taking 177.5 when all they really needed was 175. So the weight now moving to 205 kilos.
Anishanka.
Yeah, so this would of course give him the lead, because if you remember, he snatched 172.5, so this would put him on 377. Cleans well.
Yeah, that looks fine. Strong overhead. And of course, that's his first clean and jerk. And Chakoyan's used 2 of his, Sunar's used 2 of his. So Anishanka has the edge to come back. The bronze medalist from the snatch phase. And with the edge, with the opportunity. But interesting, David, the one man that we haven't seen at the moment is the Romanian Calancia, who's got that junior world record in the clean and jerk. And he has yet to come out and start his clean and jerk attempts. But at 205, which is where we are now, that's his junior world record. So he should be soon, or very soon, on the stage.
Of course, that record was set 3 years ago. Well, here he is, Dave. And I'm sure that being a youngster with 3 more years training behind him, he's certainly improved.
Well, he's not going to zoom into the lead, well, certainly not at this stage, because remember, he only had 167.5 kilos from the snatch. So that's 5 down on Chakoyan, Anishanka and Sunar. So the first phase has got to be get the total and begin the catch-up. So 2:05, this should be straightforward.
Good clean. Solid jerk, and that's certainly the most impressive piece of clean and jerking we've seen today. So this obviously his stronger suit.
But he's going to have to go up to or beyond, well, he's certainly going to have to go beyond his personal best of 207.5 if he wants an overall championship medal here, because of the kilos that he's given away in the first part. But encouraging there, and he's got in Niku Vlad somebody who really absolutely at the highest level knows what it takes to be a winner. So Sunar, well, 5 kilos shouldn't be a problem, that sort of amount, but of course, David, this is his final attempt. Having failed at 200 the first time, just about struggled to get it for the second. So at the moment, he's sitting on 372.5 and needs this badly to stay in with a shout of a medal for the overall. No, not to be, but he's only 21 and 372.5. It's actually a big step forward from what he did in Pavia and in the World Student Games, when he actually totaled up 355. But he had actually aspired to 390 as a total. That's what he put in. That's what he put in. Came into these championships ranked 17th in the world, but he's improved that by this performance already.
He's certainly a name to watch out for in Athens. So Chakoyan, last chance now to go back into the lead. Needs to do this. Remember, he only weighed in at 82.70, so this would put him into the lead on the total and into the lead on the clean and jerk by virtue of his lighter body weight. But of course, he doesn't have any attempts left after this.
Absolutely. There's still Huan, who's alive, of China, Anishanka, Kalancia, but really does need this to take him up to 377.5. Had to work a bit for that.
Well, he did work hard, and for my money, he deserves that lift.
So, Zaga Chakoyan. Always pretty good at the first phase, David, the snatch. But equally, you know, this has always sort of given away places and positions in this second phase. Has always had to try and make it count in the snatch phase. If you go back, you were talking about world records. When he was Armenian, or lifting for Armenia, back in the early 90s, that's when he was setting world records and setting the world alight. Now, Juan. Now, this is only his second clean and jerk, but it's a big, big increase, David. 200 to 210. So, if he gets this, he goes to 380 and straight into the lead. So clearly he feels confident enough to go for this.
Looked good on the opener of 200, and that's certainly good.
Just slides the arms out as you've indicated. So up. Well, he's got one more go.
Well, he's not laughing this time, because I think he believes that his man really is capable of that. I think the snatch, he didn't expect him to snatch the 175, but he certainly expected him to do this, and it'll be interesting to see if he comes out for that again.
Well, he has done 210 in competition. Not recently. He only did 202.5 in the Asian Championships, and that was his third and final attempt. But he's got one more left here. Let's see whether he can pull it out of the bag on this occasion. But before he does that, Anishanka with the bar still at 210 for Belarus. And in a way, David, like with the snatch, you know, he's got it at his mercy here if he picks this up and now puts this over his head.
Oh.
Well, how close has he been on not one but two, even three lifts? His two snatches were not that far away. That wasn't far away either.
That's right. If he could have sort of put in that 177 or managed to hold that 210 overhead, he'd be the man in the driving seat. But he's just not managing to finish it off today. All the strength is there. I mean, he's standing up okay with the weights. He's putting the weights to arm's length without any real problem, but he seems to be struggling to maintain them overhead.
What makes this competition fascinating, David, is the fact that, you know, so many have had a chance to, you know, grab the glory. It's who grabs the glory? Well, you know, where's it? Well, 210. So what's this going to do? This would take him to 377.5. He weighed in at 84 kilos 45.
So it's not going to give him the lead, because of course Chakoyan is still in the lead, but it will put him in the lead on the clean and jerk.
Yeah, and it will. But remember, he's got one more attempt. So from nowhere really in the snatch, where he was only 8th in the ranking, this is for 2nd overall, and he's very strong.
Yes, it's good. Yes, certainly the most impressive clean and jerk lifting that we've seen, and one wonders after that low snatch of 167.5 if he can claw his way back. Well, I guess it just depends on how much more he's got left and the failures of the other athletes.
Well, it's actually the failures have actually helped him to claw back, because he's right there on terms now. Because we have a situation whereby, you know, Anishanka's got one lift left, Fuan has got one lift left, and Kalancia's got one lift left. It's that close. So Anishanka at the moment is he's stuck on 375, isn't he? And he's in 3rd place. Juan is out of the medals.
Well, 377, because he snatched 72, didn't he? And he jerked. He's done 205. So this lift of 210.
Oh, he's done 205. Yes, you're right. He's on 377.5. And Anishanka is body weight 84.44. Kalancia 84.45.
Well, that was harder. Now, can he get the jerk right this time? Well, the answer's no. So he's left on 377.5 and has no way of moving into the 1st place spot.
So the situation at the moment is that Chakoyan on 377.5 leads, and he leads ahead of Anishanka, who's also got 377.5, with Kalancia, the young Romanian, also on 377.5, but the heaviest of the three. The only difference is that Kalancia's got one attempt back, and the only other person that can affect anything is Huan Ayun of China, who actually, David, has got 370. Because he failed, he got the 200, failed the 210, and has now put the bar up to 212.5.
So this will give him 382.5 and give him the lead on the overall and on the clean and jerk, meaning that the only person who'd be able to overtake him would be Kalancia.
So this is for clean and jerk lead, overall lead, a new personal best. They don't come much bigger than this in terms of lift opportunities or lift challenges. Well, he seems really confident, the coach, that he can do this, which is great. Certainly the cleans have been really good. A little bit heavier, but that was still impressive, David.
Yes, just needs to maintain overhead, which he does. So China take the lead on the 2nd from last lift of the competition.
Well, fantastic recovery there, and the way that he slides the arms out, David, and then just makes it that much easier just to jerk it up. A real explosion as he put that over his head.
So I'm sure after that lift he must be thinking he's got it, but of course we can't write off Kalancia. He's looked good on all of his clean and jerks, and look at that.
Absolutely terrific. Now, Kalancia, has he got it in him to reply?
Yes, knows exactly what he needs. He needs 215 kilos for the title, He's got one lift left to do it. And there it is. The bar has now gone to 215. So the last lift of this competition.
Yeah, it's on, but it'll be on body weight because he is lighter than Juan.
So this for the overall medal.
Is it China or is it Romania? Well, like Juan, no problems there.
No, he's looked good on this phase.
And
he still looks good.
That's a fantastic finale. A category which has had rather too many failures has ended with some terrific lifting. And look at Nicu Vlad. He's been struggling to get a Romanian champion for quite a few years now, since he returned to Romania from Australia. But this day belongs to 23-year-old Valeriu Calancia, who for the first time becomes world champion at senior level. And the total 382.5. It doesn't affect the world records, but that's not what it's about. It's about winning the championship, and that's what Valeriu Calancia has done. And also, by virtue of lighter body weight, you can see it there, he's taken the gold in the clean and jerk ahead of the gutsy Juan of China and the old campaigner Sergei Chakoyan in third place. But it might have been different if Chakoyan had lifted up the other 10 kilos, 5 in the snatch and 5 in the clean and jerk. And Sunar of Turkey, respectable there in the top 10. But a new name on this 85-kilo championship, which is a very open affair. Gone are the days where we had the traditional battles all through the 90s between Germany's Mark Huster and Piros Dimas. Now, this is very much up for grabs. It's Calancia today, but I wonder who it will be in the Olympic Games 8 months from now in Athens. Well,